to see God's truth in everyday life, life, life. Leading families to see God's truth in everyday life, life, life.
Welcome to another edition of Centurion Life. We're here, we're always leading families to seek God's truth in everyday life. I'm your host, Mario Guadarrama Jr., and as always, my number two, my lovely wife.
Brittany Guadarrama.
Yes, love you, sweetie.
Love you.
Okay, so today's topic is just simply this. What kind of tired are you? Are you spiritually tired? Are you emotionally tired? Or are you physically tired? So let's dive into this.
Absolutely.
So first off, this is an interesting topic because in the beginning, even in our marriage, we didn't quite understand or we couldn't pinpoint
Right.
where we were tired, okay?
Yes.
Okay, as a matter of fact, that caused a lot of heated fellowship.
I was actually interested to see if you were going to hit this, and you hit it right off the bat. But yes, I remember constantly telling you, I'm so tired, Mario. I'm just so tired. I'm tired. And you were like, why are you tired? You got 6 hours of sleep last night. You got 8 hours of sleep last night. You got 10 hours of sleep last night. And I'm like, it's not that kind of tired.
Yeah. Yeah, because I'm in my brain, you know, for the work that you do, you know, you're a realtor. In those days where I'm thinking, why is she so tired?
Yeah.
And simply because I'm like, okay, she has no appointments today. She had a good, deep 10 hours of rest, even slept in.
Yeah.
I come home and I'm like, why is she tired? Why is she tired?
Yeah.
You know, I just didn't get it.
Yeah, because
You
you were only understanding it as like a physical need for rest.
Yes, because in my brain, I'm trying to, as every man does, problem solving.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out, okay, not this, and this. Okay, why is she tired?
Yeah.
You know, you're still, in for all intents and purposes, not to shame you or anything like that, but, you know, you're still in your comfy clothes at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
There was a season of my life where that was accurate. Yeah, especially whenever Victor was little and I was cleaning the house all day and taking care of a toddler and doing all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I started processing this, and then as you know, as our relationship started to grow, God was at the center of it. You know, then we started to understand the principles of what we've actually come across and learned basically the hard way.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
you know, so what we're about to spit out at you is simply nothing but hard lessons of life in this marriage. So let's start off with the first one. When you're tired, it's like one of three things. You're either spiritually tired, emotionally tired,
Yeah.
or physically tired. So the easiest one to actually understand and what to apply in that moment is physically tired.
Yeah.
This is very easy.
This is the one that everybody gets. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'm tired," and they automatically think, "Oh, I just need to go to bed." So this is the one that everybody can solve on their own.
Right. You take a look at your schedule. First off, you actually analyze and see, how late am I going to sleep?
Yeah.
You know, what am I doing right before I go to sleep?
Yep.
You know, because if like take for instance, if I'm playing a video game, Call of Duty, and you had to do that, didn't you? And if it's the last thing I play, my brain is going 1,000 miles an hour.
Right.
Okay, so in other words, it's not even in that stage of let's calm down and rest. No, I'm just like, you know,
Right.
and then
High
you're
alert.
and most of the time you're already half off dozing off, and so then I'm like, hey, how you doing? What's up? You know, hey, you want to do a little something? You know, and you're already 40 minutes into your, you know,
My brain, yeah.
shutdown mode. And, and so those were some little moments to where we were disconnected,
Right.
but that was on me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to be honest with you. That was on me. So when I realized, okay, I need to shut this portion off in my brain. Okay. So now I have a certain amount of time in which I play on the game. Okay. Because I am a diehard Call of Duty.
I have actually noticed that you've been limiting yourself
Thank you. I appreciate
the video
that.
game.
And then afterwards, then I kind of put it to the side, especially if you call for, hey, can I have some attention? Hey, can I have, some cuddle time? I'm like, okay.
Sometimes there's just thoughts that I want to talk to you about before I go to bed.
Yes.
And that connection.
So I do put my phone to the side, and we have those moments to where we connect on any level, okay? But in doing so, that was an easy thing for me to correct. Yeah. Okay. For others, your schedule might be you're going to bed at 11 o'clock at night, and you're getting up have to get up for work at 5:30 in the morning, and that's simply just not going to work for anybody.
Well, that was your schedule for some time.
Yes, it was.
Because I think a lot of adults do this. You stay up because that's the only time that you have, like, by yourself. Right. That you can, like, do anything with whatever you want. And you're like, oh, I'm going to scroll my phone for 3 hours before bed. And I get that because I get that like that too. But, it greatly affects your sleep.
Oh, yes, it does.
Ability to sleep and then your ability to function the next day.
Right. So fixing your schedule on making sure you get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep is just crucial so that you function properly the next day. Yeah. So that you have physical energy the next day. Yeah. Okay. And even more so, if you do have time in the afternoons and you're feeling just a little bit tired, hey, guess what? Grown people take naps. Am I right?
Yeah. I mean, a 20-minute nap is enough to, like,
yes.
Is enough for your body to go through the whole sleep cycle.
Right. Everybody knows that good old rule of thumb that, that doctors, psychologists, and all the therapists all have always pushed, hey, if you need to recharge, take a 20-minute nap. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, that'll work. And it does. So what kind of tired are you? Physically tired? That's simple. Let's fix our sleep schedule so that we have enough energy for the next day. Okay? Now, let's talk about the next one. Emotionally tired. Yeah. Okay? Now, this is those cases, those scenarios in which normally emotionally tired usually, not always, usually happens at the end of the day or as the day progresses. Okay. Yeah. Every once in a while, you get those circumstances and situations where they have bled over from the day before, or it's been an ongoing situation. Yeah. Take for instance, if God forbid, I don't wish it on anyone, if Grandpa had cancer and it's an ongoing situation, so that emotional connection, the toll that you have, that you're carrying constantly in the back of your mind, it weighs on you. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So, what do you do when you are emotionally tired? Yeah. So, do you want to talk about this little thing that we just recently came about with our little thing, or do you want me to describe it?
You can describe it.
Okay. So, my wife and I have recently gotten into this little thing. I don't know if you want to call it a game or it's not a game.
It's like a system.
Yes.
It's like a check-in system.
Yes, it's an emotional check-in system, okay? And it's ranked from 1 to 100. And take, for instance, if I come home, okay, and I had a very draining day from my clients, the moment I come in, I love you, how you doing, sweetie? I'm gonna say a number real quick to you. Right. I'm at a 20. Yeah. And what that means is that throughout the whole day, right now, because of how emotionally it has brought me to, I only have 20% of energy for our relationship right now at this moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, whoever said relationships are 50-50, that's a lie. That is a stone cold lie. Because,
Throw it out the window.
yes, because you just never know what level you're at. And this is why this whole thing that, that we're talking about. If I come home and I'm at a 20, this is where in that moment you gauge what you've gone through in that brief couple seconds, and you're going to know, okay, my husband's at a 20. You're simply going to go, I got you.
Okay. I'm going to evaluate and see if I have the other 80
Right.
to make up for you only having 20.
And this is the crucial point. You should always be at 100 in any given moment, okay? And so if I come home, I'm at a 20, that simple saying of, I got you. I got you. That's going to make the difference, all the difference in the world when it comes to your spouse going, okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
I love that because then that prevents burnout and resentment to the other spouse.
Yes.
If if there's not that system and you don't tell your spouse that you're functioning at 15-20%, and then you got to do all this stuff. You got to, I'm a mom, so I got to cook dinner and got to make sure homework's done, all of that, this, that, and the other. And that can lead to a lot of resentment of building up because you don't ever tell the other person, man, I've really had a long day. And this kind of takes like the emotions out of it a little bit.
Yes,
and then
it does.
it makes it like a logical, okay, this is what we need for the house to function sort of scenario. So I really love it, and I love it like that.
Yes.
I love it for that reason, that it's like a system, and
Right.
it's not like you need to do this and I asked you to do that and blah blah blah. It's not like an expectation thing.
Right.
It's just, this is where
Yes.
I'm at. I need you to help me with this, and we'll get it done.
Right. So now that we kind of set the parameters for this thing, what happens if I come home and I go, I'm at 10, and you go, I'm at 15? Okay. Right off the bat, that's only 25% energy in the relationship right now in that moment.
Yeah.
What do we do?
We have a little powwow.
Thank you.
Little,
Yes.
Little convo.
So what you do is that you have a little powwow with your spouse. I mean, you stop dead in your tracks, pause everything. You go into your room, you go into the bathroom, wherever you got to get an honest little moment. And then you have a quick powwow. Okay, how do we get to 100?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk right now.
What do you need from me
Yes. What?
to help you?
Thank you. Yes, that's exactly what you should be asking.
Yeah.
And in that moment, take for instance, if I had a very emotional, spiritual day in which I'm completely drained, okay, I come home, I say I'm at 10, you say you're at 15. Okay, there's 25 right there. Not enough energy, that leads to 100.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you, okay, I'm not going to be very communicative the rest of the evening. I'm actually going to need a little bit of space right now to go and be in private with God and to kind of, recenter.
Yeah.
But just know that, I'm probably going to be in a little, as far as communication. So please have grace, and honor me with that quietness. Right?
And I love that, because then that takes the did I do something anxiety away.
Yes.
And I can just be like, okay, this is him just needing space to recoup. And then I can focus on whatever else I need to be doing.
Right. And on the other side of it, take for instance, you say, okay, well, thank you for sharing that with me. Here's where I'm at. I had a client that, had a hard conversation. My boss got on to me today, and your son was just outright irritating me all day long. Okay? And what you're going to tell me is in that moment, in some way, in some fashion, yes, it does. When you let me know, okay, hey, what I need from you is some non-sexual contact.
Yep.
okay, from you. I need a great deal of lovins. I need you to caress me. I need a little bit of affirmation in words going, you know what? You do got this. You are a good realtor. You are a good mother,
Yeah.
And for the simple fact you're here honoring me and making this meal right here, in this kitchen, I love you. You're doing great. So now that lets me know, okay, I can do this little portion
Yeah.
the rest of the evening,
Yeah.
okay, so that I clearly have a path on, not to say I'm going to walk on eggshells or anything, but I'm going to be intentional about, I'm not going to pester you. I'm not going to irritate
Yeah.
you. I'm not going to joke around with you right now
Yeah.
because you're pretty, done with that emotional side. So this helps us
For sure.
put us in that place to get back to 100 real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you know what I mean, excuse me. So I'm glad that you and I have actually come across this. So as it plays out each and every time,
Yeah.
we have a clear understanding right there when it comes to an emotional tiredness, what we need to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing that I wanted to point out. So say, for example, you come home and you only have 25%. If once we have that little conversation and we say, okay, this is why I'm only at 25 and this is what I could use from you or need from you, then you can better know how to allocate the very limited resources that you already have in order to make the biggest impact in your spouse.
Yes.
So that it's not, we're just cutting corners here. We're just being more effective. We're just
Yes.
being more efficient. So,
Oh, I agree 100%. 100%. And when you put this into action, okay, it helps us as the husband, okay? Because first and foremost, by default, I'm a problem solver.
yeah.
And if I just see you distraught, if I don't know how that path to care for you that whole evening, guess
Yeah.
what? In my brain, I'm going to be like, well,
You need to fix this,
yeah,
that.
don't let your client talk to you like that.
Yeah.
Who does your boss think she is? Or he is. To talk to you that way. Matter of fact, I'm gonna go have some words right now. Give me the phone number. I want to problem solve, and that's the worst thing that I can do is to problem solve.
Yeah. There's a space for it for sure.
Yes, there is.
But,
There's a time and place for it.
Whenever your wife is at 25% emotionally, probably not.
Yeah. She needs
Comfort,
that. She needs.
correct.
Yes. She needs that that love that God commands us to do. For our wives.
Yeah.
She doesn't need that problem solver in that moment. You actually probably for the most part already took care of it. I'm just seeing the aftermath of
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's foolish of me at times to jump to conclusions thinking you didn't take care of it. Right?
That was good. That was good.
So again, that's me jumping to conclusions in my problem solving mode. Assumption, and we know what assumption does to anybody. It is, it ruins a whole great deal of production down the road. So I'm glad that in those conversations, you tell me what you need. Okay. Like immediately, it's like an emotional,
Yeah. Adrenaline.
yes, thank you, of what you need for that evening.
Yeah.
So to have that clarity, to get that a better understanding where you're at emotionally. Okay, what type of emotional tired. Okay, we don't have 100 between us. Okay, let's pause everything. Let's figure this out quick. Let's have a game plan. Because after all, when you do this, you're doing the very thing that God commands you to do.
Yeah.
I simply put in His Word, the relationship is not about me.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that puts the precedent upon how I need to look at things. What does my wife need?
Right. And
Right
put
now.
others before yourself.
And so when you have these little boundaries, when you have these little moments on how to gauge things, it is so crucial that when you, and keep in mind, this works both ways. One can't be in it and
Yeah.
not playing, what I keep saying that, keep inputting, I'm at a 20, I don't care right now. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
I can see how if the other people weren't super genuine about it, they can just be like, well, I'm at a 15.
Yeah.
And it's like, are you really, or do you just not want to put forth effort
Right.
to take care of your spouse?
Yeah.
But if you're not really going to do it with a genuine way, then it defeats the whole purpose.
Right. You're a team.
And you're shooting yourself in your foot, basically.
As God simply put, you're supposed to, all things as one, fight the enemy as one,
Right.
seek resolution as one. And if you don't do this, then guess what? You're out of order.
Yeah.
Okay. And then even more so, you're allowing the enemy to creep in through those emotions because they're not in check.
That's so true. I love how you said that the enemy can creep in. Something that I've been realizing and studying just more in depth is like a house divided cannot stand. And if you and your spouse are divided on any opinion, then that gives the enemy leeway to come in and enter.
Yep.
And so I love this system because it helps just seal up all of those gaps so that the enemy really doesn't have a foothold to come in and the door isn't tempting to open.
Right.
Or like, you know what I mean? You're not tempted to open that door to things you shouldn't be messing with.
Right.
So
And that just kind of falls back into the core of how we should be operating, the filter that we, use to keep us in our godly role, right?
Right.
For me, again, every word, every thought, and every action must come from a place of love. That's what God commands me.
Yeah.
And for you, it's every word, every thought, and every action must come from respect. And when we do that, when we come to those moments, you're at 15, I'm at 10. Hey, guess what? What you say matters. How you say it matters, And again, every time you honor and are so respectful of your words to me, guess what? That penetrates right here in my heart. It just goes straight through there. And it does nothing but motivate me to, okay, I'm sorry you're hurting. I'm sorry you had a bad day. What can I do right now? I know I'm at a 10 myself, but, we're going to get through this. It just,
let's order a pizza.
yeah.
Let's put a movie on.
You don't have to cook tonight, Let's get that pizza. Let's go order some sushi. Woo! Okay.
Yum.
Should have been Japanese.
You would have made a very good Japanese man.
You think so? I don't know.
think
Well, I'm a pretty medium toasty Mexican color right here. Don't get me wrong. I love being Mexican. If anyone knows me, I'm through and through. Proud of my heritage. Love my food. I love to make it even more. So, wow, we just went off in a tangent right there in a minute, didn't we? Food.
Yeah.
See, that's our love language
There we
right
go.
there.
That's
My God.
that's our Achilles heel. That's food. Right there.
Okay, so back. Pump our brakes. Pump
As
our
you're
brakes.
licking your lips.
I am thinking about that sushi. Just like, Okay, so when we come home through that emotional state, we got to gauge. Let your spouse know 1 through
Right.
100. Where are you at? And hopefully your spouse just simply says, I got you. And if you don't, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you pause, stop, go immediately make a game plan. This is what I need for the rest of the day. This is what I need for the rest of the evening, so we can get to the point of rest and go, after we do our prayers and go to bed, we can wake up, renewed, within ourselves. So now, here's the last one. Spiritual tiredness.
Yeah.
What, if you're spiritually tired, okay, and, what do you do?
I would love to answer that question.
You go right ahead.
So, something that the Lord has kind of taken me on a journey with, and it has been an amazing journey, is learning how to operate out of grace and out of
okay.
rest, and operating out of just abiding. Oh my gosh, life changing. Because I'm guilty. I'm so guilty of this, of striving and trying and doing, and it was like I was just doing it in my own strength, and I was so exhausted.
Oh yeah, that's where it goes.
I was so burnt out. I was so tired that I could not even see straight spiritually, nonetheless emotionally or mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really does affect all the other things. If you're exhausted spiritually, then I don't know how you can not be exhausted mentally or emotionally.
Oh, that's true.
But that's just me. So the Lord has been teaching me every morning to wake up and ask for grace and ask for the ability to do what I need to do every morning. Ask for his love, ask for his goodness, ask for his faithfulness, and his ability to empower me to do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say, I will shout it from the rooftops, everything has just been so much smoother. And it's not that my external circumstances have been getting better, because they've stayed the same. But I have been rooted and grounded in a place of rest and abiding, and I don't allow my external circumstances to push me out of that spot.
Okay.
And so I just maintain that level of grace and peace, and I have been working 6 to 7 days a week, and I am not tired. And that is just a sheer testament to the grace of God.
Right. And I want to say in this moment, I so appreciate you. And it makes me love you all the more, knowing that you know precisely the formula that it takes in your current schedule in order to maintain a healthy spiritually, emotionally, and physical lifestyle. And that just warms my heart, because now I know that, you know, especially I am on the receiving end of that healthy lifestyle, so to speak, that my wife has energy for me at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I really kind of realized that it was all coming together, or like I was operating on a level that I haven't ever been able to operate on. Like a couple of weeks ago, whenever I was working like 6 to 7 days a week, and I was like, I actually have energy to continue to do this. I actually have energy at the end of the day. So it's just crazy. It's mind blowing. Highly recommend everybody to add that into their prayer. Just ask the Lord for grace. There's a book called Grace by Tony Cook, I believe, that I read a couple months ago, if not a year ago, and it has completely changed my perspective on grace and what it is and how it works and how it functions. And yes, highly recommend.
Yeah. And here's something on a side note when it comes to marriage. You know, as the husband, as a father, I cannot deny what God calls me to do. And that's be the spiritual leader of my house. And to see you there back several seasons ago to where you was struggling, you know, it was my duty to check in. It was my duty to, you know, hey, what have you been reading lately? You know, and, you know, and thank goodness we even back then, you know, we had that level of truth and honesty between us in the marriage. You know, you'd be like, well, I'll be honest, I haven't, you know, read my Bible in 4 days, you know. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, well, you know, it is showing. I am concerned, you know.
You're sad. I can tell.
Yeah. I can tell. So the first thing that I always did was, I take that to prayer. Prayer is always the first line of defense. It should never be a last resort. So
Right.
getting right with God, in prayer is so crucial. Okay. That's where you submit yourself. That's where you humble yourself. That's where you confess, to the Lord Almighty, I'm not in a good place right now. I have not been doing good, or I had a rough day. Father, your children outside of these four walls was testing me today.
Your people.
Your creation,
Come get them.
But hey, God tells us even if they are not operating right themselves, even if they are treating us bad, even if we get cussed, yelled at, pointed the finger at, get slandered upon us, guess what? We're still supposed to pour out that grace and love,
Pray for those who persecute you.
Yes. Yes.
Bless your enemies.
Whew.
That's a tall
Jesus.
order.
Yes, it is.
But yeah,
But through God and through his strength, we can do so.
absolutely.
And to pull this back into the marriage, on my side, when I am spiritually tired, one of the first things that I do that just really helps myself out to reset is I give thanks. I give thanks. I start thanking God for everything, in my life in that moment, and it's usually in a particular order, okay, because that's just who I am.
I was like, you're just a man of order. You just have.
Thank you. And, and in that prayer, it's like, God, I thank you for your grace. I thank you gave me another day to push your kingdom forward. I thank you for my beautiful wife that you have blessed me with. I thank you for my 5 children that I have. I thank you for my 2 grandchildren. I thank you for the business that you have blessed me with. I thank you for my wife's, business, and I just keep going on and on. And I thank you for my church, the congregation, my pastor you have, that I'm submitted to. I'm thankful for my accountability that I have with others, in my life. And in doing so, and just confessing over and over and over all the many blessings that I have in my life, guess what? It does nothing but forces me to just be in awe of what God has done in my life. Okay?
Yeah.
Then after that, I do the little harder part. Because now I analyze, because now I'm set in my mind. I analyze. Okay. God, forgive me. And I go through the day. I think about the guy that I cut off on the highway. I think about the other, the lady where she smiled at me and I just walked straight past her and gave the biggest frown to her.
Yeah.
I'm just being truthful.
Yeah.
Okay. God, forgive me for not smiling in that moment to give a little bit of sunshine to that lady.
Right.
Forgive me for cutting that guy off that, I could have had a little more patience. I was not in a rush. Forgive me for being spiteful to my wife that day. Forgive me for, strongly correcting my son when if I was just a little bit more loving, okay, that harshness wouldn't have come out. And that's Bible. I'm not supposed to be harsh to my son.
Yeah. A gentle answer turns away wrath.
Yeah. So once I ask for forgiveness, then after that, now I'm into that portion of God, from this moment forward, I know I'm going to have to deal with this, and this evening, tomorrow afternoon, the next week after. So I'm already looking ahead.
Yeah.
So I'm asking God, Lord, so I don't repeat the offense that I have done to somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
I need that portion, God. Please pour out that portion of kindness that I need to extend. Please give me that portion of gentleness that I need to, come through my words, that kindness, and when I start pulling and asking God to, give me that portion, now I'm set. Now I'm set.
Yeah.
And even more so, if I could, switch gears a little bit. If I come home from a hard day's work, part of that being quiet and like, hey, sweetie, I'm at a 10. I need to go, I just need a little bit of quiet time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so I can go and veg out on, on social media and scroll up and down for 30, 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not so I can get on a computer game or on my phone and, play some video game or anything. No. If you're a man of God, if you're a person of God, you should be going and resetting with God.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Going into a moment of prayer.
Yeah.
Therefore, I am able to attack what my wife needs more precisely, accurately, and then I'm in a right mindset.
Right.
Okay? Because in the end, when it comes to all of these three types of tired, spiritually tired, emotionally tired, physically tired, what is the one that affects all?
Spiritual.
Yes. Spiritual tiredness does affect the emotional side. Spiritual tiredness affects the physical side if you allow it to continue in a bad way.
And I just want to say something, like, I feel like, especially the church, the Christian church right now, we are so underplaying what rest does to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we are creatures that need rest.
Yes, we do.
And the American culture is so anti-rest. It's insane.
Go.
We have bought, sold, hook, line, and sinker, the hustle culture of do, more, more is more. And like, the Lord tells us that he made the Sabbath for us.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't make the Sabbath for himself, although he did show us how to do it. He rested on the seventh day. Yeah. But we need it for ourselves.
Yes, we do.
We need that brain break. We need that physical break. We need that emotional break of, okay, I'm going to unplug from these people that are draining me for a couple hours, if not the entire day, or at least a week, or whatever it is. And rest, literally, if you're at rest, you're less likely to, like, get angry and flustered and upset. And that's how the enemy gets you.
Yep.
Is, like, whenever he can hook you to get upset, whenever he can hook you to get angry, that's how he's able to get in. But rest is the antidote for that.
Yes, it is.
And then you just smooth sailing.
Yep. So crucial.
Mm-hmm.
So crucial to get that rest. So, well, man, I really don't know of anything else we can actually say in that. I mean, that's the bottom line. Get your rest.
Mm-hmm.
Get the rest in.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not weakness. Rest is not weakness.
Ooh, good point.
You don't have to work yourself to death to prove what are you trying to prove?
Yeah.
Who are you trying to impress? Are you trying to prove to yourself that you can do it? Are you trying to prove to other people that you can do it? Are you trying to seek some approval that you haven't gotten? Are you trying to get that promotion at work? Is it really worth it though? If you're working all of that time and it's robbing you of your ability to settle down and be at peace, then just
I get more men that look at me and we're like, "Hey man, what are you doing this weekend?" Or what did you do? What did you do this weekend? I'm like, nothing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed time with my family. I did mow a little bit on Saturday. On Sunday, I went to church. I served my church, and I went home and nothing. I relaxed.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the peace that I have in my home. And they look at me like, "Oh, you didn't watch the game? You didn't go over somebody's house? You didn't have a big old barbecue? You didn't go to the car show? You didn't go to the lake?" And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. I actually enjoy my peace and time at home with my wife and kids.
We really do. Like, if we're home, we're not going to do much. Unless we haven't done much for a while. Like, if we haven't done anything in, like, a couple days, then we'll go do something.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Because we're not antisocial. We just like our peace, and we like our little a little nest that we have.
Yeah.
Um,
If you want to
But
call
yeah.
it boring, go right ahead, because I'm perfectly at peace with how we live.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no yelling, screaming,
No,
upset.
it's been hard work to get here,
Yeah.
but it's been worth it, and I'm so glad I've done this journey with you.
For
So,
sure. Same.
yeah. Well, that's all the time we got today, folks. So we want to thank you for stopping by, listening, and watching this. We truly appreciate all of your supportiveness in every way. So until the next time, we love you. God loves you. And remember, always here at Centurion Life, we're always leading families to seek God's truth in everyday life. Stay blessed.